people, this is my mom's show where she talks about us. We give her the things that we give y'all the show. Get cozy, here you come.
Hey guys, welcome back to Cozy Womb Podcast. My name is Shan, mama of the girls. What's up? It's the last Monday of February. Today is February 28th. And you woke up, so everything is great. So let's talk. Y'all see the title. You're just like your dad. Has your parents ever told you that? Has your mom ever told you that? Has your grandparents ever told you that? You're just like your dad. You're just like your dad. Is the statement a pro or a con for you? Because I know for me, growing up until I was 28, it was told to me as a con, as a jab, right? And it was a dagger for me to understand the way that I was currently acting as a child or as a teenager or as a woman in her 20s. From my mom's point of view, she wanted to tell me that she didn't like how I was acting by telling me you're just like your dad, or you think just like your dad, or you act just like your dad. And without any specifications on in what way, it was just like, said, told. And up until I was 28, I took it as a pro. I took you're just like your dad being told to me as a compliment, because when it was told to me, I was noticing that my mom was saying it out of frustration, but I also remember that you chose him. You chose him to be the man in your life at that time. You chose him to be the man to become my father. And as of 2022, remember that for moms and grandparents, you know, your daughter chose him, or a woman chose this man to be the father of their child. And you made character decisions. You picked the traits and the features your child will come with by choosing this man. And so when you say you're just like your father, or you act like just like your dad, children, that's not going to hurt them how it's hurting you, right? Because if you felt like it was such a con, why did you pick that individual to have a child with? Why did you see those character, quote unquote, flaws and think, oh, this is a perfect person for me to have a child with? Because when parents say you're just like your dad, they're saying it in a way to be like, I don't like how you're acting. And a lot of times, if you have a child that knows their father or doesn't know their father, you have to really think about how your child is digesting what you just said, because it means, one, there's parts of them that you don't like. Two, there's parts of them that you will never like and you would never accept. And three, you're upset and disappointed in yourself that you picked someone with these character traits that you are now seeing in me. No matter what, try your best not to say it, is my point. And that's what I want to talk about today, because the con is always on the parent that's complaining about the character traits that is showing in their child, that shown for them with them.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
That parent. And I just want more parents to be aware of the things that they say and how they manifest in their children. But happy Monday. Welcome to Cozy Womb Podcast. Don't forget to check out Cozy Womb Podcast merch on the Cozy Womb shop with Teespring. Also, the podcast journal is available to help podcasters come up with a great show, a great delivery, and a great flow throughout. A workbook just for you with the podcast journal, created by me, available to you on lulu.com. Get yours today. Now back to the show. I got some parent-kid news to deliver to you before we get into the show. All right, so what's some parent-kid news that I have? There is a war going on, right? And we are here just clocking in, going grocery shopping, buying clothes for spring, cleaning out our closets like nothing is going on in other countries. There is a war going on. And there are newborns that were just born, connected to machines, in a closet, in a hospital in the Ukraine. That video that I saw was the saddest thing to see, but I don't know what being in the middle of a war is like when trying to live day by day and take care of little babies, but it looked stressful. In other news, in Georgia, in Gwinnett County School District drops the mask mandate. So kids going to school in Gwinnett County no longer have to wear masks in school or around the campus. So that's something that's going on. You still have parents that are for it, and you still have parents who are like, take the mask off, it's ruining their experience and all of that. My thing is like, kids are still catching COVID, babies are still dying of COVID, older people are still dying of COVID, and I just feel like it just should be a parent's choice. It should be a parent's decision on if they get vaccinated. And that's just where I stand on that. Atlanta's teachers want a pay raise. I think all teachers deserve a pay raise, period, wherever they are teaching at, because they are taking on a lot. They are at risk for a lot. 3-year-old was abused by classmates in a Houston daycare. This is my thing. It's a daycare. Why is mistreatment going on in a daycare where there are grown adults being certified and verified to be able to take care of other people's children? It irritates me so much. I remember when Ari was like 2 and she was at daycare, and it's about like 12 to 15 toddlers in the class and 2 teachers in there, and some boy had So clearly that was Ari calling me to show me her new highlights book. I was telling her like highlights was my favorite magazine. That's how I learned how to read. They would come through the mail, and we had like a little slot in the door in Philly. And when the mail lady would push the mail in there, I'd see my magazine, and I'll sit there right on the porch with my pencil and go through each page and put the words where the picture was. And that's how I learned how to read. So she has a highlight magazine, so we were talking about that. But yeah, so like when she was 2, she was in a classroom of toddlers. There were 2 teachers in there, and this little boy had enough time to get mad at her for having a toy and bite her in her face. I remember her dad was so upset. I was upset too, because it's kind of like just this stupidity, how 2 adults can be in a room with toddlers and not see this happening. I think the lady got fired, but it's still like a little mark you can see on her face, but hopefully it fades away. But yeah, stuff happens at a daycare, and I just don't understand how people don't notice. Like, I know this wasn't the first time. People don't notice that this is happening with other kids because you're not paying attention, right? In other news, a father and 2 children drowned in their pool. That I don't understand. Like, what happened to make the father and the kids drown? Were the kids not trained to swim? Was the father not a swimmer? Like, I'm not understanding. I needed more details from that story. And lastly, sad news, but I guess hopeful news. Babies are currently being born in bomb shelters in Ukraine. I just pray that it's not a lot of deaths that's happening. I just pray that something happens where this comes to an end, because the way people are suffering, the way inflation is going, the way countries are taking sides right now, and American people are on Twitter talking about Kim and Kanye, I'm just like, what is happening? Okay. But other than that, I don't have any news over here. I am just enjoying my Sunday, and I want to get into the topic of today so you guys can enjoy your Monday. So let's just get to it.
Here we go.
Back to the show. When I tell you TikTok is a funny place, TikTok is a funny place. I have a pet peeve. I have a pet peeve of people who put too much mayonnaise in chicken salad and other types of salad-like mixes. Stop it. Anyway, all right. So what are some traits that your child will possibly inherit from their fathers? They'll probably inherit their health conditions. They will inherit their eye color most of the time, their height. But both of my kids' dads are, I think, like 5'7", 5'8". They're not really tall, but all of my kids are tall. Both of the girls are tall. My dad was like 6'3". I don't know how tall their father's dads were, but I know they don't get that height from me because I'm not tall at all. But their height is something that they usually get from their dads. Physical appearance and physical features. Both of my kids, I feel like, look more like their dads than me. But there are certain instances and certain pictures and certain ways and facial expressions that they make that I see my face and I see my mom's face and I look just like my mom. So their mental health. So how your kids think mentally is usually a mirror image of how their fathers think. Now, with Anya, I can see that she gets her sneakiness from her dad and her not thinking out everything that she does from her dad clearly, because he's always trying to shortcut things instead of do it the right way, and she does that. But creatively, both of my kids get their creative juices from me. Aria is a perfectionist. She's very creative. She can draw really well. She's great with numbers. She's great at thinking in her head. She loves like being in the spotlight. She's very girly. She's not afraid to dance in front of anybody. She likes being creative, and I feel like she gets that from both of us because he is creative.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
When you visit Arizona, time is measured in moments, not minutes. Like the moment you see the Grand Canyon for the first time. visit a new state of mind. Learn more at hereyouareaz.com.
Always teaching himself something. Anya is super smart, always doing something ahead of her time. So I like the characteristics of both of my children, but there are like attitude wise where they always have to have the last say. Attitude wise, like everything's so dramatic. Arya definitely gets it from her dad, because why are you acting like this over this little issue? So there's just things that your kids do get from their fathers, but at the same time, I don't use it as a dagger to be like, you get that from your daddy. You know what I'm saying? I tell them what it is that they're doing specifically that is like their fathers. Whereas I think our parents just be like, you just like your dad, without any explanation or anything. And I think that can rub kids the wrong way. Kids will always, no matter what anybody says, do better with a father figure in their lives, period. So even if their biological father is not around, find your child, girl or boy, a father figure, period. Okay? When it comes to children not having parents who parent, and then they become kind of like the parent on the flip side instead of them being a child because their parent is immature, that's called parentification. Okay? Parentification. Okay? That's what it's called. And it's basically the role reversal when a child is in a position, not because they want to, because it's obligated, to act as a parent to their own parent or their younger siblings. This has happened to a lot of my cousins where they have younger siblings, and because their parent is not mature or not around a lot, they end up being a parental figure to their siblings instead of being a older sister or older brother. And I'm always aware of the things that I delegate to Anya to do for Ari, because I don't want her to feel like just because she's the oldest, she has to do this all the time for her sister. But at the times when I'm busy or my hands are full or I just can't get up right now, yes, please go pour your sister some juice. Go help her in the bathroom. Go put toothpaste on her toothbrush. But I don't want it to be like, this is your job because I said so, do it all the time. Because then kids, as they get older, start to feel like, well, I've been doing it anyway with my younger sister. You know, what's my own kid gonna hurt? And that's what you don't want. You don't want your kids thinking they can take on a real parent role really young, and then they wipe their time away. They wipe their 20s away. They wipe their teen years away, thinking they could take on a kid because they've been doing too much for a younger sibling. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. Some ways and some reasons that moms can tell their kids, you're just like your dad. They say that when kids don't make them happy at the moment, they say it when kids set a boundary of, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't like that. No, I don't want to mingle with the other kids, you know. Or they're just stubborn. They might say, you know, you're just like your dad. When that parent can't change your mind as a child, they might just say, you're just like your dad, you know, stubborn, stuck in your way. But at the same time, those are the things that are going to help that child in life, where their mind is set on what they want to do. Even if somebody else doesn't like it, they're going to do that thing. They're very confident. And so that's why it's super important not to knock down kids that stand up for themselves or have a backbone, or, you know, it doesn't matter what you say negatively about me acting like my dad. I'm not doing it, or I don't want to do it, or that's not what I like. And you can't make me like it by guilting me into liking something. The parent might say that also when you deal with them as you get older, maybe in your 20s, you start to see characteristic flaws in your parents as like regular human beings because you're no longer like a little child. And when you're dealing with a parent in a way that they can't help but see the reflection of your father in you, and they get really frustrated, but at the same time, it's a good thing because now they know, like, this is just something that you're not going to cave on. This is just something that they're not going to be able to talk you out of. Like, no, I don't like being around people. And yes, my dad also did not like being around people. My dad was not afraid to tell you his truest thoughts to your face. I think that's a good thing. I don't want to act one way in front of somebody when I really don't want to be around them, or when I really don't like something that they did and act like it's cool. So my directness is definitely a trait that I get from my dad. My confidence is definitely a trait that I get from my dad. My ability to tell people no and still love them, I definitely get that from my dad because I feel like my mom is a people pleaser. My mom also gives people lots and lots of chances to disappoint her. I only give people one. And I will say that me doing that, if that's a trait of my father, I'm glad. I'm glad I have that because I just see too many people giving people who have disappointed them or disrespected them too many chances in life and lose out on the greatest times in life, lose out on the greatest opportunities in life, lose out on the greatest people in life that actually probably deserve them a little bit more. And so if those traits are like my father, I am perfectly okay with them. Our parents got older, but some of our parents did not mature, okay? Just because you get older does not mean that you mature automatically. And they don't always change their bad ways. And I have 2 kids and I see both of their character very clear. And I know what they get from me versus what they get from their fathers. But unlike their fathers, whose teachings as a child clearly fell to the wayside by their parents, I nip it in the bud when I see it. I tell them when I see the error in their ways, how it will affect them as they get older. How integrity is way better than you trying to scheme your way around doing things how you're supposed to. And when you raise your children like that, they will be better off. When you raise your children correcting the ways and the traits that they may get from their fathers that's not so great, and you do it in a loving way, they're going to love you for it. So don't throw that statement to your children as a jab. Tell them the ways that, you know, your dad was really good at that, or your dad was really good at this, and I see that in you, and you should talk to him more about this, or you should ask your dad to help you about this. You know, I talk to Ari's dad all the time about the ways I see him in Ari, and he talks to me about the ways he sees me in Ari. And at the same time, we are not perfect. So the same things that you see about yourself and your kids, you also need to correct what isn't good for them that you see in them. And it's all about balance, once again. But that's all I have for you guys today. There will be another episode on Friday. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing the show. Thank you for supporting the show. If you could, if you would, if you want to, could you leave a review on Apple Podcast app or Google Podcast app or Spotify to let me know how you're enjoying the show, what you like about it. And if you would like to leave a message or any tips, please call in at 770-284-8175. Till next time, peace. Bye.
Bye.